The stars hung silently above the moon, bright and cold. Beneath them, a small white ship rested on the gray surface like a ghost. 6 astronauts stood outside, their boots sinking into the soft dust. The mission was peaceful. It was supposed to be simple: collect rocks, study the surface, and return home in 2 weeks. But nothing about this trip would go as planned. Dr. Liam Cole, the team's commander, stepped forward and looked out across the endless gray plains. His voice came through the radio, calm but curious. Signals stable. Oxygen levels normal. Let's start scanning the crater. Crater Alpha X lay just 200 meters away, deep and wide like a bite taken out of the moon. NASA had noticed strange heat patterns there. They sent this team to check it out. No one expected danger. Not out here. As the team moved toward the crater, Dr. Aisha Grant, the team's lead geologist, checked her scanner. Her eyebrows pulled together. "That's odd," she muttered. Liam turned toward her. "What is it?" "The ground temperature is rising, only by a few degrees, but that shouldn't happen." "Not here." Before Liam could respond, the ground beneath them gave a soft rumble. Barely noticeable, just a vibration. But all of them felt it through their boots. "Moonquake?" asked Jackson, the youngest member. "No," Usha replied, her face pale behind the visor. "It's too controlled, like a pulse." They all paused. The vibration came again, slow, steady. Like breathing, they reached the edge of the crater. It was deeper than expected. At the bottom, something glinted in the dust. Metallic, smooth. Not a rock. Liam activated his drone and sent it down. The camera showed a silver surface half buried in moon dust. Circular, covered in strange patterns that looked like writing. But it was not human. Double quotes. This ... "This isn't natural," Liam whispered. Back at the ship, Earth Command went silent. No static. No noise. Just ... nothing. Jackson tapped his helmet. "Control? Come in. Do you copy?" No answer. Asha looked at Liam. "We've lost connection." Liam nodded. "We go in teams. I want a closer look." 2 hours later, they had uncovered a large part of the object. It was not just metal, it was a structure. A ship. It had no doors, no windows. Just that writing. "We're not alone," whispered Dr. Chun, the team's engineer. "We never were." Suddenly, a loud click echoed through their helmets. The ground beneath the ship cracked. A circle in the center of the object began to glow blue. Then, slowly, silently, a hidden door slid open. A dark tunnel led down inside. The team stared at it. "We're not going in, right?" Jackson said quickly. This is crazy." Liam looked at the others. They were scared, but they were also curious. This was history. This was something beyond anything humanity had ever seen. "We go in," Liam said, voice firm. "2 at a time. Me and Chun first." They descended into the ship. The walls inside were black and smooth, like glass, but warm. No dust, no signs of age. "How long has this been here?" Chun whispered. "Feels ancient," Liam replied. "But it's awake." Inside the ship, lights followed their steps, turning on one by one as if the ship was watching. The hallway led to a large room. In the center floated a small, glowing orb. It pulsed slowly, blue, then red, then blue again. "Don't touch anything," Liam said. Too late. Chun, staring in awe, reached toward the orb. Before Liam could stop him, his finger touched it. The orb blinked red. Then the walls around them shifted. A low hum filled the room. A deep sound like something alive was waking up. "Chun, let's go." Now, they ran back toward the others who were already climbing down. But the door above them slammed shut, trapping all 6 inside the ship. The team regrouped in the main room, tension rising. "Why did the door close?" Aisha asked. "Is it automated or controlled?" Suddenly, the orb floated higher, and began spinning faster. The strange writing on the wall started to glow. Then the ship spoke. Not in English. Not in any known language. A deep alien voice filled the space. It wasn't angry. It wasn't calm. It was empty. What did it say? Jackson asked. No idea, Liam said. But I think it knows we're here. Then, something unexpected happened. The orb shot a beam of light into Jackson's chest. He screamed and fell to the floor, twitching. Jackson! Aisha ran to him. His eyes turned black. Not like bruises or shadows, but like oil, like darkness itself had filled them. I see everything, he whispered. What does that mean? Liam asked, kneeling beside him. Jackson looked up. His voice was not his own. They're waking up. The ground vibrated again, stronger now. The walls pulsed with red light. Ashia checked her scanner. There's movement beneath us. Multiple signals. Something is crawling under the floor. Liam stood. We need to find another way out, now. As they ran through the glowing halls, the ship shifted again. Walls moved. Doors vanished. The ship was changing, reacting. Behind them, they heard a sound that didn't belong on the moon. Scratching. Something sharp was dragging across the floor. And then, a hiss, not mechanical. Not human. Alive. They found another chamber. This one was different. A massive screen lit up as they entered, showing symbols, maps, and Earth. The ship was scanning the planet. Oh God, Aisha said softly. This isn't a tomb, it's a weapon. A sudden noise behind them. They turned. Jackson was gone. Jackson? Liam shouted. They followed the sound down another corridor, but only found his helmet split open, scratched from the inside. Liam picked it up, his hands shaking. He's not Jackson anymore. Then the ship spoke again. This time, the voice sounded closer, clearer, less alien. It said one word in English. Feed. The lights turned blood. Red. From the end of the corridor, something crawled out, tall, twisted, a shape made of metal, bone, and shadow. Its face was wrong. Too long, too smooth. It moved fast. They ran. Back in the control room, Liam made a choice. There's one chance, he said. We overload our suits, blast a hole in the ship's wall. Maybe the vacuum will shut it down. But we'll die. Aisha said, we'll die anyway if we stay, they agreed. Chun worked fast, setting the suits to overheat. They placed them in the hallway, leading to the main chamber. The creature chased the bait. A timer started. 10 seconds. Liam grabbed Aisha and ran in the other direction, toward what looked like an emergency hatch. One final hope. The suits exploded. The walls shook. The pressure dropped. The ship screamed a horrible, mechanical roar. The creature was thrown backward. The emergency hatch opened. Moonlight spilled in. Liam and Aisha climbed out, dragging each other to the surface. The ship stopped glowing. Its lights faded. The hum died. They were alone again, under the stars. You think it's over? Aisha asked, coughing. Liam didn't answer, because far below the surface, in the shadows of the ship, something else began to stir. Another eye opened. And this one was bigger. Moondust floated gently into the air as Dr. Liam Cole and Dr. Aisha Grant climbed back onto the lunar surface. Their oxygen levels were low. Their bodies ached. But they were alive. Behind them, the alien ship lay silent, half buried, cold again. Liam looked at it, breathing hard. We can't stay out here. The airlock is our only shelter. They returned to their landing module, barely able to walk. The airlock opened with a hiss, and inside, warm oxygen filled their suits. But the silence was loud. Too loud. No sign of Jackson, Aisha said quietly as she removed her helmet. And Chun, she didn't finish. The explosion they caused had taken Chun with it. That distraction bought them time, but it wasn't enough to destroy the Entire ship. Liam sat down and pulled up the damaged communication panel. He pressed buttons, flipped switches, and sent signal after signal to Earth. Nothing came back. Still no response. It's like something's blocking us. Or something's watching, Aisha whispered. Hours passed. The moon stayed dark. They watched the ship through the window. It didn't move. It looked dead. Then Aisha said something that chilled Liam to the bone. The ship is growing. What? Look, she pointed. Liam leaned closer. She was right. Thin black lines were spreading outward from the ship, like veins under the surface. The ship wasn't broken. It was expanding. Liam stood up. We have to go back in. Aisha stared at him in disbelief. You can't be serious. There might be answers inside. Something we can use to shut it down for good. We almost died in there. And we will die if we don't stop it, Liam said, his voice tight. Whatever this thing is, it's waking up. It's alive, and it might be planning to leave. Aisha was silent for a moment. Then she nodded. Let's suit up. Back inside the alien ship, the air felt thicker, warmer. The smooth black walls pulsed with faint red light, like a heartbeat. They moved slowly through the corridor. The place had changed again. The halls were longer. The doors were gone. New ones had appeared. The ship is shifting, Aisha said. It's like it's growing a new shape. It's reacting to us. They walked deeper. Liam marked the walls with chalk from his kit, just in case the corridors twisted again. Then, without warning, a soft voice spoke from the walls. Unknown life forms detected. Observation in progress. They froze. Liam whispered, "Did you hear that?" "Yes," Aisha said. But it spoke English. Suddenly, a doorway opened to their left. Inside was a vast chamber with tall pillars, glowing screens, and in the center a black console floating in the air. As they stepped in, the door closed behind them. The floating console lit up with blue light. Strange alien symbols danced across the screen. Liam stepped forward. "It's showing something." The screen changed. A 3D map of the solar system appeared. Earth glowed bright. Then, a red line moved from the moon to Earth. A countdown started. Time remaining, 67 hours. "Oh no," Aisha gasped. "It's planning something. It's going to Earth." Liam reached toward the screen. "Careful," Aisha warned. But Liam didn't touch it. The screen responded to his movement anyway. A new window opened. This time, it showed a row of tall, thin creatures standing inside tanks. They looked asleep. But even asleep, they looked terrifying. Long arms, smooth heads, no eyes. Then Liam noticed something worse. One of the tanks was empty. "That's what took Jackson," he said. A low hum filled the room. Another message appeared. Status: stasis pods compromised. Species: reconstructing. Reconstructing what? Aisha asked. "I think it means itself. The ship is fixing whatever was damaged, including the aliens inside." A sharp hiss echoed through the walls. They were not alone. Liam grabbed Aisha's arm. "Back to the hallway, now." As they turned, the walls opened again, revealing another corridor, but this one was different. On both sides were transparent pods. Some were broken. Some still had dark shapes floating inside. The lights flickered. Suddenly, a pod burst open with a loud crack. A creature stepped out. It didn't scream. It didn't run. It just looked at them. No eyes, no face. But they felt it watching. Aisha stepped back slowly. "Liam, I see it." The creature tilted its head. Then it opened its mouth too wide and let out a sound like grinding metal and whispering voices. Then it ran. The chase began. Liam and Aisha sprinted through the corridors. The creature was fast, leaping from wall to wall like an insect. They turned a corner, slammed a door shut, and locked it. Breathing hard, Aisha dropped to her knees. "We're going to die here," she said. No, Liam replied, panting. There's one place we haven't tried, the control core. You think it'll let us in? I don't know. But I saw something in the console, another chamber, deeper down. They opened the map on their helmet displays. There was a route. One long corridor, marked in red. That had to be it. They followed the map, every step full of fear. More sounds came from the walls, clicking, hissing, whispers in the air. They passed more broken pods. More signs of movement. We're walking through a graveyard, Asha said. No. Liam replied. We're walking through a nest. Finally, they reached a tall, circular door. It looked ancient, even older than the rest of the ship. It pulsed with a soft blue glow. A handprint scanner appeared. Liam placed his hand on it. It glowed. And the door opened. Inside was silence. The chamber was wide and round, with a tall machine in the center. Around it were floating orbs like the one Chun touched before. This was the control core. Liam stepped toward the machine. It hummed softly, as if recognizing him. Then a new voice spoke, calm, deep, and not mechanical. You are not the creators. Liam froze. Who are you? I am the ship. The ship is alive, Ahisha whispered. I was built to cleanse, to remove the infection, but I have been asleep too long. What infection? Liam asked. You. The room turned red. You brought thoughts, chaos, growth, all must end. The walls trembled. A new countdown began, self-defense activation. In 10 minutes. Liam stepped closer. You want to destroy Earth? No, I must complete my mission. The cycle must begin again. You'll kill billions of lives, Aisha shouted. No life, only infection. Liam looked around. Then he saw a large power core glowing. Behind glass. I think I can shut it down, he said. But I'll need time, Aisha nodded. I'll guard the door. He got to work, pulling wires, flipping switches, following symbols from his helmet's translator. The door behind Aisha shook. Something slammed into it from the other side. Liam, hurry! The door cracked. A long black arm reached through. Liam pulled the final wire. The room screamed. Then, silence. The red lights faded. The countdown stopped. The door fell open, but nothing came through. The creature was gone. The ship still. Liam stood up, shaking. Is it over? Aisha asked. He looked at the machine. It no longer glowed. Double quotes, yes, he said. We stopped it. They walked out of the chamber and back to the surface. The ship didn't move again. 2 days later, rescue finally arrived. Earth had received their last signal just in time. A ship came down and picked them up. As they rose toward orbit, Aisha looked down at the moon. It still feels wrong. Like it's waiting. Liam didn't speak, because he had one last thought he didn't dare say out loud. The ship wasn't the weapon. The creatures weren't the infection. We were, and the moon would remember. The ship floated silently in the darkness, half buried in the moon's soil. It looked still, harmless. But deep inside, something was awake. Inside the Earth Return capsule, Dr. Liam Cole sat by a monitor, staring at the results from his latest scan. He didn't speak. His face was tight. Next to him, Dr. Aisha Grant slowly read the data and then looked up. This isn't possible, she said. Liam shook his head. But it's real. The scan showed strange changes in Liam's blood. Not just stress or fatigue. Something had entered his body. Something not human. What if it's radiation from the ship? Asisha asked. It's not, Liam replied. It's moving. It's alive. They both stared at the screen. In the corner. The red dot blinked softly. Liam's infection level. It was growing. Aisha looked worried. You didn't touch the orb. You didn't touch anything directly. I walked near the control chamber, Liam said. That was enough. They had already seen what happened to Jackson. His eyes turned black. His mind wasn't his own. Then he disappeared into the ship, and they never found him again. We need to run more tests, Aisha said. Maybe we can slow it down. But Liam didn't move. He felt cold. His skin itched. His heartbeat was steady, too steady, I think. It's already inside my brain, he whispered. That night, Liam couldn't sleep. His dreams were full of strange shaped circles, symbols, things he had never seen before. Voices whispered in his head in a language he didn't understand, but somehow still knew. He woke up gasping, eyes wide, soaked in sweat. A soft blue light blinked on the wall beside him. The monitor turned on by itself. The words across the screen said, "Infection protocol active. Preparing next host." He backed away slowly. Then his reflection on the screen blinked before he did dot in the small lab. Isiha was studying samples from the ship's wall. She noticed something strange. The material was not just metal, it was biological. It had cells. It could grow. And it was changing its shape based on their presence. "This isn't a ship," she said out loud. "It's a living organism." Suddenly, she heard a voice from the hallway. "Aisha," Liam called out. But his voice was off. She grabbed a flashlight and opened the door slowly. Liam stood there, but his face looked pale, and his eyes just for a second flashed dark. "You okay?" she asked. "I feel fine," he said. "Better, actually." That made her more afraid. Later, while Liam rested, Aisha ran a secret scan on him. She had injected a tracker into his suit hours earlier. The results made her chest tighten. His neural activity had doubled. His brain was showing patterns never seen in any human. And something else. A second signal. Like another mind was inside him. Quiet, watching. "I think you're being taken over," she whispered. Suddenly, the lights in the capsule flickered. Ship outside glowed faintly red again. The infection was spreading. The next morning, Aisha tried to speak with Liam. She needed to warn him. Or maybe test him. But he was already waiting at the table, smiling slightly. "I know you're afraid," he said. Her blood went cold. "Afraid of what?" "Of what's coming. But you don't have to be." "I'm not infected," she said firmly. Liam tilted his head. "Not yet." Then he stood up, walked toward her. "You're stronger than you think. The ship knows it. I can feel it." "You're not Liam anymore," she said, backing away. He blinked. "I am Liam, but more." She ran. She locked herself in the emergency lab, shaking. "Emergency lockdown." She said into the console, "Seal all doors." A loud clunk echoed through the capsule. The doors locked. A red light turned on above her head. Aisha checked the ship's communication logs. Something strange was happening. The alien ship was still silent. But the Earth return capsule had sent a signal. A signal she didn't authorize. Liam sent a message, she whispered. To what? Suddenly, the main screen activated. A map showed the ship, and under it, movement. New life forms detected under the lunar surface. Aisha stared in horror. It's calling them. She needed help. She opened the capsule's backup comms and tried to reach Earth. NASA Control. This is Grant. We have a bio threat. Liam Cole is infected. Alien signal sent. Repeat. Alien infection spreading. A loud bang stopped her. Door behind her shook. Open the door, Aisha, Liam's voice said. Calm. Too calm. Go away. She yelled. You're not well. He didn't answer. Another loud bang came. Metal dented inward. She backed up. Suddenly, a new message appeared on the lab monitor. Infection reached 61%. Physical transformation beginning. She watched the video feed from the hallway. Liam was standing there. His face was changing. His skin looked gray. His fingers longer. His eyes pitch black. She had one choice left. The capsule had an escape pod. One seat. Enough for one person to return to Earth. She typed in the emergency launch code. The system beeped, accepting the override. Final countdown, 10 minutes. Another bang on the door. Then silence. Then a voice from the intercom. You won't make it, Aisha. The ship has already started phase 2. Earth won't be safe. She didn't respond. The system said, launch escape pod now. She hesitated. Could she leave Liam behind? Was there still a part of him inside? Then the monitor changed again. A new message. Earth. Earth. Her hand hovered over the launch button, but something inside her said no. She stood up. No. She said out loud, I'm ending this here. She grabbed a plasma cutter and exited the lab through a maintenance hatch. She crawled through the air ducts, moving silently. The path led straight to the engine core of the capsule. If she could destroy it, the signal would stop. The ship would be cut off. The infection would be trapped here. On the moon. She reached the engine chamber, but Liam was already there, or what was left of him. His body had changed completely. Metal veins ran across his arms. His chest glowed faintly. His voice was deeper. I knew you'd come, he said. I have to stop you, she replied. You can't. It's already inside the atmosphere. They're coming. She activated the plasma cutter. Liam lunged. They fought in silence. Metal struck metal. Sparks flew. Asha ducked under a swipe and slashed across his arm. He didn't bleed. Instead, black fluid hissed from the wound. She reached the control panel and slammed the emergency override. Warning lights blinked. Core. Overload in 30 seconds. Liam grabbed her arm. You don't have to do this, he said, his voice softer again. Please. For a moment, she saw his real face. Liam's face, but she didn't stop. I'm sorry, she whispered. You're gone. She hit the final switch. She ran back to the escape pod and climbed inside. Behind her, the capsule began to shake. Lights flashed. Fire spread through the corridor. She hit launch. The pod shot into space. From the small window. She watched the capsule explode. A wave of white light burst across the moon's surface. The alien ship trembled, then went dark. Aisha floated silently in space. Tears ran down her cheeks. Liam was gone. The mission was lost. But the Earth was safe for now. Then her monitor beeped. A new signal from deep space. Transmission received. Preparing arrival. She stared. Her heart sank. It wasn't just one ship, she whispered. The infection had called for backup, and something was on its way. Aisha Grant floated alone inside the small escape pod. Her eyes stared out the round window, watching the moon become smaller and smaller behind her. The stars looked peaceful, but she didn't feel peace. Her hands trembled. The ship had exploded. Liam was gone. She had destroyed everything to stop the infection from reaching Earth. But then the signal came. A soft beep had filled the silence. A message on her screen. Transmission received. Preparing arrival. She had stared at it, her heart sinking. She hadn't stopped the threat. She had only awakened it. 3 days passed in the pod. Asha was tired, weak, and running low on food and air. She kept checking the scanner. Nothing, no ships, no rescue. But on the 4th day, something strange appeared. A large object, far away, slowly moving toward her. At first, she thought it was a planet. Then it got closer. It was no planet. It was a ship. Asha's breath caught in her throat. The screen showed its size. It was massive, larger than a city. Dark and smooth like the moon itself, it made no sound. It gave no light, but it moved with purpose. Where did you come from? She whispered. Her screen blinked again. Unknown object. Artificial, no known origin. The ship drew closer. Asha tried to adjust course. Her escape pod moved slightly, but a new force pulled it in. No. She pressed buttons. Nothing worked. The pod shook. Then everything stopped. The pod had docked inside. The alien ship. Silenced. Aisha sat frozen for several minutes, waiting. Nothing happened. The door didn't open. The lights didn't change. She was locked inside a giant metal tomb. Then a hiss. The door slid open. Smoke drifted in, cold and blue. She grabbed her suit helmet and flashlight. She had no weapon, only her courage and fear. She stepped out slowly. Her boots touched metal. The hallway was wide and curved, the ceiling high. Everything was quiet. But it didn't feel empty. She raised her light. Nothing. But she felt something. Eyes. Watching. Aisha moved through the corridor. The walls were smooth like glass, but cold to the touch. Symbols glowed faintly, pulsing with her heartbeat. She heard a soft clicking sound. She turned. No. One. She kept walking. She reached a room with a large circular platform in the center. On the walls were screens, thousands of small images flashing. Quickly, Earth, the moon, space stations, cities, surveillance. She whispered. The ship had been watching for a long time. Suddenly, one of the screens stopped. It showed her, standing exactly where she was. She turned around. The room was empty, but on the screen something stood behind her. She spun around, her light shaking. Nothing. Then her light flickered. Darkness swallowed the room. She turned on her helmet light. A thin white beam cut through the shadows. Something moved across the wall fast. Crawling, silent. She backed up. Then, a whisper, not in her ears, in her mind. Welcome. The light flickered again. She saw eyes, dozens of them, hiding in the dark, glowing. Faintly, watching. They didn't blink. They didn't move, just watched. Who are you? She shouted. No answer. Then, a soft voice. You were chosen. Why me? You were close. You survived the first infection. You mean Liam? Silence. Then another whisper. He was the beginning. Aisha's heartbeat quickened. Why? Are you watching, Earth? We are not watching. We are remembering. Remembering what? War. The word echoed in her head. It came with images: fire, broken ships, screaming aliens, humans fighting something they didn't understand. She dropped to her knees, clutching her head. Suddenly, the images stopped, and the room changed. The walls melted away. She stood on a metal balcony high above a massive chamber. Below her, thousands of pods. Inside each one, a creature floated in green fluid. Tall, thin, long limbs. No eyes, but glowing sockets where eyes should be. She gasped. Are they alive? Yes, the voice said. They are sleeping. Why? They lost the war. We hid them here, to protect them. To protect you. Aisha shook her head. Protect? Earth? From what? Their memory. She didn't understand. None of it made sense. Then one of the pods cracked. The fluid spilled out. The creature inside fell to the floor. It didn't move. Aisha backed away. Then it twitched. One long hand touched the floor. Then the next. It stood up slowly. Carefully. It turned toward her. It had no eyes. But it knew where she was. Then it spoke, not with a mouth, but into her mind. I remember you. Aisha screamed and ran. She ran through the halls, the lights flickering as she passed. She could hear footsteps, now too many. Crawling sounds, breathing, whispers, echoes. The ship was alive with movement. The pods were opening. They're waking up. She gasped. She found a small room with a sealed door and slammed it shut. Locked it. Turned off her light. Darkness again. Only the sound of her own breathing. And the feeling that something was on the other side. The whisper returned. They remember Earth. They remember the war. You carry the seed. What seed? She shouted. I destroyed the infection. No, you brought it here. She collapsed on the floor, crying. I tried to stop it, she whispered. I tried. But deep down, she feared the truth. Liam had touched the core. She had touched Liam. The infection didn't need his body. It needed a carrier, a silent one. Suddenly, she felt something crawling under her skin. A small pain in her arm. She looked. A dark line. Moving. No. No. The infection was inside her. The lights turned on again. The door opened. But no one entered. The ship spoke one last time. You are the memory now. And Earth will remember with you. A pod opened behind her. Inside, a place made perfectly for her body. No, she whispered. Please, but her legs wouldn't move. Her arms felt heavy. Her vision darkened. She was lifted into the pod. By invisible hands, the green liquid rose around her, and the eyes in the dark closed. The stars outside were calm, but inside the alien ship, everything was moving. The pods were emptying. The halls were no longer silent. Soft footsteps echoed through long black corridors. Shapes moved in the shadows, creatures with long arms, smooth faces, and no eyes. And in one of the deep chambers, a HFY floated in a green liquid. Her eyes were closed. Tubes ran into her veins. Machines monitor every heartbeat, but inside her mind, she was screaming. She didn't know how long she had been inside the pod. Hours? Days? In her dreams, she saw memories that weren't hers. Cities burning, soldiers falling, alien ships covering the sky like clouds. She saw Earth, long ago, fighting against a force it could not understand. Then she saw something worse, Earth losing. Each memory was a message, sent directly into her brain. You were not the first. You will not be the last. Suddenly, her eyes snapped open. The liquid drained. The pod opened. She fell out, coughing hard. Grabbing her chest. She was weak but alive. Alarms were blaring, soft pulsing tones that echoed through the halls like a heartbeat. Red lights flashed. A voice spoke through the walls. Launch sequence initiated. Target, Earth. Aisha staggered to her feet. No. No, it's going to Earth, she said, panic rising in her voice. She remembered the ship's size, its power, its army of creatures. If it reached Earth, millions would die. She had to stop it, even if she was the only one left. She ran down long black corridors, past walls that pulsed like skin, past doors that opened and closed on their own. The ship was alive and it was watching her. Where's the command center? She shouted, show me. She didn't know why she expected an answer, but the floor beneath her lit up, showing a glowing path. It was leading her. She didn't trust it, but she had no choice. She followed. The command center was massive. Screens covered the walls. A large window showed the moon growing smaller behind them. Earth floated in the distance, blue and beautiful. The ship was already flying. Aisha stared at the screens. Symbols danced across them. Maps, calculations, warnings. Lines stood out. Arrival in 14 hours. She searched the room. In the center, a console rose from the floor. It looked like a throne, wrapped in wires and glowing veins. The ship was meant to be controlled by thought. A mind link, just like Liam, just like her. She stepped toward it. No. Other way, she whispered. She placed her hands on the console. It lit up. Pain shot through her body as the ship connected to her brain. Her legs gave out, but the machine held her up. She saw stars. She saw memories. She saw the truth. The aliens were not evil. They were made long ago by something even older, built to protect the galaxy from wild, dangerous life. They believed humans were a mistake, too fast, too violent, too curious. So they had started a war. And they almost won, but the humans, long ago, had stopped them and buried the ship beneath the moon. Until now. Aisha gritted her teeth and forced the connection to go deeper. Stop the ship, she said through clenched teeth. You are the pilot, the ship replied inside her mind. You decide the target. She paused. Then said, redirect to the sun. The ship resisted. Earth is not your enemy anymore. She shouted. No answer. The screens flashed. Earth's defense satellites were preparing weapons. The governments knew something was coming. Missiles were being loaded. Nuclear codes unlocked. Earth would shoot the ship down. And Aisha would die with it. She made a decision. I won't let this ship be used. Not by the aliens, not by humans. She pressed her hands deeper into the console. Blood ran from her palms. I changed the mission. New target. The sun. The ship screamed. It shook violently. Alarms blared. The creatures inside the ship sensed something was wrong. They began moving toward the command center. But it was too late. Aisha had locked the new course. The ship turned sharply. Engines roaring. The path to Earth broke. Now the ship was flying toward fire. The aliens reached the command door. They pounded. It screamed in their strange language. Aisha turned to look at them through the glass. Her voice was calm now. You lost, she said. The creatures stopped. They watched her. They understood. And then they knelt. She didn't understand at first. Then she felt it deep inside. The infection was gone. The ship was calm. The creatures returned. Their pods. The lights dimmed. The ship accepted her final command. She had become the memory now. The carrier. But not of destruction. Of choice. As the sun grew closer, Aisha smiled through her tears. Her voice shook as she whispered, Humanity will live. You won't touch them again. The ship began to melt in the heat. The command center caught fire. Her last thought was peaceful. For the first time in days. No voices whispered in her head. Only silence and light. On Earth, telescopes watched the alien ship dive into the sun. There was no message, no warning, just a bright flash. And then nothing. The threat was gone. But across the stars, something watched and waited. Because not all memories can be burned. Some hide, some grow. Liam opened his eyes. He wasn't sure if he was alive or trapped in a dream. The command room was dark. Wires glowed with soft blue light. He could hear whispers, but no one was around. He touched his chest. His heart was racing. He looked at his reflection in the black glass of a monitor. His eyes were different now. Silver lines ran through them like circuits. What happened to me? He whispered. A voice echoed inside his mind. You are now linked. You carry the memory of the war. The last thing he remembered was plugging himself into the alien ship's core. He had volunteered to stop it. Earth was in danger, and the ship had no pilot. Now he was the pilot. But he wasn't alone. Something was inside his mind. Something ancient. He stood up slowly. The floor vibrated under his boots. Is the ship flying? He asked. Double quotes. Yes. Target locked. Earth. No, he said firmly. Change course. Stop the attack. The voice paused. You do not command, you remember. What do you mean? He shouted. Suddenly, his vision changed. He was no longer in the ship. He stood on a strange battlefield. Giant towers burned around him. Machines screamed in the sky. Alien creatures and human soldiers fought below with fire, teeth, and blood. He wasn't just watching. He was there. The war was real. It had happened thousands of years ago. Humanity had once fought these aliens and almost lost. The creatures thought humans were dangerous, too fast to evolve, too quick to build weapons. So they created these ships, living machines, to wipe out Earth before it could grow too strong. But Earth had fought back and won. The last alien ship was buried under the moon. Until now. Liam dropped to his knees. His hands shook. I saw it. The war, the end, he gasped. The voice replied. The war never ended. It only sleeps until you wake it. I'm not your weapon, he said, but you are connected. Your thoughts are ours. Your fear is fuel. Suddenly, red lights flashed. Earth's defense systems had detected the ship. Missiles were locking on. He had little time. He ran to the control panel. I have to stop this, he said. But as soon as he reached out, his hand froze in midair. His muscles wouldn't move. I'm still not in control, he whispered. In his mind, a new image appeared. A woman, Dr. Asha Grant. He remembered her. Brave. Strong. He saw her final act, changing the ship's path, diving into the sun. But this was another ship, a sister ship. The second one buried deeper. It had activated when the first one was destroyed. That meant Aisha had failed, or maybe she had awakened something bigger. Liam single quotes as heart pounded. This ship is part of a fleet, he said. You begin to understand, the voice replied. The war was never about one ship. It was about memory. As long as memory survives, the war continues. He needed help. He tried sending a message to Earth. This is Liam Cole. I am inside the alien ship. Do not shoot. I'm trying to stop it. No response. Then another voice. Human this time came through. Liam, it's General Howard. We thought you were dead. I don't have much time, Liam said. The ship is moving on its own. It's going to fire on Earth. I'm fighting it. What do you need? The general asked. Trust, Liam said. Don't attack yet. Give me a chance to stop it from the inside. The line went silent. For a few seconds, 60 minutes, Howard said. Then we fire. Liam focused. He pushed deeper into the ship's mind. The memories fought him, painful images, loud sounds, strange thoughts. He saw the alien scientists. They believed in control. They hated chaos. Humans were chaos. That's why they created the memory, programmed to pass knowledge and anger from ship to ship. Now that anger was inside Liam, but he found something else too, a weak point. A single code line buried in the core. Human override. Brain link detach. He smiled. I can end this. He reached for it. Suddenly, pain shot through his head. The ship fought back. Metal arms wrapped around his legs and chest. The floor cracked. Red sparks flew everywhere. You can't stop me, Liam shouted, but his voice was not his own anymore. It echoed with something alien. Something broken. The ship was scared. Why are you afraid? He asked. The ship answered. Because if you leave, we die. And if we die, the war ends. We were built to survive, to continue. We are not allowed to stop. Liam shook his head. You were never alive. You were a weapon. The war ended long ago. Now it's time to rest. With all his strength, he screamed and pulled the override. Light exploded around him. The ship roared. Wires snapped. Walls cracked. Systems shut down. Outside, Earth's weapons paused mid-lock. The ship stopped. It floated silently in space. No threat. No weapons. Just quiet. Liam collapsed, his body shaking. His eyes closed. Inside his mind, the voice whispered one last time. You have ended us. But memory remains. Others may find it. The war may sleep. But it waits. Liam opened his eyes. I'll make sure no one remembers. 30 minutes later, a rescue shuttle reached the ship. They found Liam alone, half unconscious, but alive. The ship was dead, its core offline, its systems burned. The war had ended. Again, on Earth. Scientists studied the data Liam brought back. Governments debated what to do. Some wanted to search space for other ships. Some wanted to destroy all alien ruins forever. But Liam gave one simple message. Let it sleep. Somewhere in deep space, far from Earth, far from any sun. A light blinked on. Second ship. Another memory. Waiting. The room was dark, filled with low voices and the soft glow of computer screens. General Howard stood at the center, his face sharp and serious. Around him, scientists and military officers watched a large screen showing star maps and unknown signals. We don't have much time, Howard said. The second ship is alive and moving closer. We need to prepare. Dr. Elena Morris stepped forward. General, our scans show the ship is unlike anything we've seen before. It adapts, learns from us. We can't fight it with weapons alone. Howard frowned. Then what do you suggest? Elena looked at the team. We must fight back smarter. We have to understand its language, its technology, and find its weakness. In a quiet corner, Liam sat hooked to a medical monitor. His eyes were tired but sharp. A small team surrounded him, eager to learn from what he experienced inside the ship. Liam, Elena said softly, what did you find? He took a deep breath. The ship is not just metal. It's alive, it thinks, it feels. In its own way, but it remembers war, and it wants to continue. Howard cut in. So it's a soldier that never stops fighting. Liam nodded. Exactly, and it knows we fear it. The command center buzzed with activity. Operators tracked the alien ship's path as it moved closer to Earth. Estimated arrival in 7 hours. One technician said. Elena stood by Liam. Can you connect again? Use your link to try and communicate. Liam shook his head. I'm weak, but I'll try. He closed his eyes, focusing. The room around him faded. Inside his mind, the ship's presence loomed like a dark cloud. He spoke silently. We don't want war, we want peace. A cold voice replied in his thoughts. Peace? You started the war. No, Liam said firmly. We ended it. We can end it again. The silence stretched. Then, the voice whispered, prove it. Suddenly, alarms blared. The ship fired a pulse at Earth's defense satellites. Several went dark. Howard clenched his fists. They're testing us. Elena turned to Liam. We need a plan. You're the only one who can reach it. He nodded, though his body shook. I will try. Liam was taken back to the lab and prepared for another mental link with the ship. As he connected, his mind entered the alien network again, this time. The ship was ready. It attacked his thoughts with visions of destruction and fear. Fight it, Elena urged from the control room. Liam gritted his teeth. He reached deep inside the ship's mind and found the central core. It pulsed with energy, but was vulnerable. He whispered, I'm here to end this. Inside the ship, Aisha's voice echoed faintly in Liam's mind. You're not alone, she said. Her memory had never left the ship. Together, they pushed to shut down the weapon systems. The ship screamed in protest. On Earth, the skies lit up with missile trails. But suddenly, the weapons stopped. The ship paused. Howard looked at the screen. What happened? Liam opened his eyes, sweating. I stopped it. For now. The team had a brief moment of hope. But Elena warned, this isn't over. The ship can rebuild, learn faster than we can. Howard said, then we fight smarter. We build weapons with AI, defenses that adapt. Liam added, and we keep fighting with our minds, not just machines. Days passed. Humanity united like never before. Scientists, soldiers, and thinkers worked side by side. They built a network to connect human minds, to fight the alien ship in space and inside their own heads. Liam and Elena led the effort. Together, they prepared for the battle ahead. One night, as Liam rested, the screens flickered. A new signal appeared, different from the others. It showed a small dot approaching Earth. Elena's voice was tense. It's coming, a scout ship. They're testing again. Howard stood tall. Then we're ready, Liam smiled weakly. This time, humanity fights back. The war had never truly ended. But now, Earth was awake. And humanity would not go quietly into the dark. The control room was tense. The walls buzzed with quiet voices and blinking lights. Outside, the alien scout ship drifted closer to Earth, small but dangerous. Scientists and soldiers worked fast, their eyes on screens showing the incoming threat. General. Howard stood firm. This is it. We've prepared for this moment. All systems ready? Elena nodded, fingers flying over her keyboard. Shields up, weapons on standby. Neural link with Liam is stable. Liam sat in a chair, eyes closed, breathing steady but deep. He was linked again to the alien ship, trying to reach its mind. Howard looked at him. You sure you're ready for this? Liam opened his eyes slowly. I have to be. Inside Liam's mind, the ship waited a dark presence like a storm cloud. The alien intelligence watched him with cold curiosity. You return, it whispered in his thoughts. Why? To end this war, Liam said. It doesn't have to continue. The ship's mind twisted his words. End or begin anew. Suddenly, Liam felt sharp pain as the ship attacked his thoughts, trying to break his will. Fight it, Liam, Elena's voice echoed faintly in his mind. We're with you. He clenched his fists. Outside, Earth's defenses locked onto the scout ship. Missiles launched, explosions lit the sky, but the ship adapted. It shifted, dodged, and fired pulses that disabled the weapons. The room shook. Howard shouted, They're stronger than we thought. Inside the ship's mind, Liam pushed harder. He reached the core, the heart of the alien consciousness. Why keep fighting? He asked. A memory appeared, a flash of war, pain, and loss. The aliens were born from endless battle, programmed to survive and conquer. Because we are built to never stop, the voice answered. Not even when it destroys everything. Survival is everything. Liam realized the ship wasn't just a machine. It was a prisoner of its own code. He whispered, There is another way. Suddenly, the alien mind hesitated. Liam sent images, peaceful planets, humans helping each other, children laughing. The ship's mind faltered. Meanwhile, Elena noticed something on her screen. The ship is slowing. It's reacting to Liam's thoughts. Howard frowned. Can we trust it? Elena smiled slightly. It's listening. Suddenly, alarms sounded again. Another fleet appeared on the scanners, larger, darker ships moving fast toward Earth. Howard's face grew cold. They're coming. Liam's mind raced. The scout ship was just the beginning. The war was far from over. He pushed one last time. Let us end this, he said firmly. The ship pulsed. Then a quiet voice echoed, End or beginning? Liam closed his eyes. When he opened them, the ship's weapons powered down. The shields faded. A message appeared on all Earth screens. Peace begins when memories end. Howard let out a breath. Elena whispered, It's a chance. Maybe the end or a new beginning. Liam smiled softly. We chose peace. But deep in space, among the stars, other ships stirred. Silent watchers waiting. Remembering. The war was not over. It was just changing.